You hear that sound? You know what that means. It's time to wake up and tune in to Two Men in the AM with Dustin Staples and Luis Romero.
Well, hello, everybody. Long time no see, listeners and our viewers, the viewers watching on BTW 21. I'm Dustin Staples here.
I'm Luis Romero. Welcome, everybody.
Yep, we're a long-awaited episode. Stay tuned because there's a lot to unpack this time. Last time we were together was on July 28th of last year. And since then, we're not at BTW 21, obviously. We're here in Greenville, North Carolina. So welcome.
Yes, it's a special episode. You're in for a treat. We're going to keep you a little longer than normal. I think that you will enjoy it. There's a lot that we have to catch up. Dustin, a lot has gone on. It hasn't been quite a year, but it's been a while.
About 6 months, going on it now. So it's insane. Quite a turnaround of events. You go and realize, like, wow, blink of an eye, and here we are already at the beginning of 2024.
Life happens, you know.
It does.
And we have a lot to discuss. There's a lot that we left you with in July of 2023. So we're going to start off with catching you some of those things. And, of course, we are in Greenville, North Carolina. Dustin, a lot of people have, when I've told them, Dustin's not here anymore, they're always like, oh, he's in Greenville,
South Carolina. It's happened quite a bit. I've got a piece of mail.
Because I guess it's more, is that more known?
More known, that's what it is. And I think we'll get to that all. There's a university here, and it's kind of well known. We'll get to that in just a second, though.
Right.
But I've got some pieces of mail. People have mailed me things that say Greenville, South Carolina in the envelope. So they'll have the Greenville, North Carolina on it, inside the paper, Greenville, South Carolina. So it's happened like once or twice. I'm sure it's going to happen at some point again.
So that probably means that some items of yours, you were talking about mail, checking it today, they may have gone to South Carolina.
I know. I checked my mailbox this morning. And I said, "Oh no, I don't think it's what's happened." But no, it is a misconception that happens a lot around here. But I think what this makes it so different is because you're so closer to the beach. Whereas Greenville, South Carolina, you're closer to the Blue Ridge Mountains or the Appalachian Mountains, very much so. So that's kind of the difference, and population-wise is a little bit different as well.
And again, we're going to catch you up with some of the things that we talked about and kind of hinted on during that last episode. That was episode 16, I think.
I believe it was.
And so we're still in the same season, even though it's been a year.
Can we just restart another? Yes, seriously, no.
So, again, a special episode. We are in Dustin's apartment here, and we just thank him so much for inviting us and for allowing us to do a podcast so that you guys can catch up on some of the things that he's been doing.
Never imagined I'd be doing a podcast in my own living room.
Yes. Also, since the viewers at BTW 21 haven't seen you in 6 months,
it's been a long time.
We get to kind of put you back on air. And I think people knew, and we talked about this during the podcast, we were never going to get rid of you, and we're not going to. I mean,
I can try to fly across the country, and I'll still somehow get back here.
It's not going to happen. That's the terms of friendship, right?
Indeed.
So let's talk about one of the subjects that we left people with, and that is the furniture sale that we were talking about, because we had some great fun. That was right after that episode, right?
It literally the next day of it, I believe it was. Sweltering 93 degree heat, extremely humid. I remember very vividly because I was packing. I had to get on the road the next morning to do all of this. But I even brought my sister along as well. And she was like, why are we doing all that? I said, trust me, I've got good instincts with this. And we did pretty well. I mean, you all lucked out a lot there at BTW and even, here too.
Yes, absolutely. And we... Again, it was the furniture show. We're talking about it because, again, we both went and had a lot of fun. And I rented a truck by Autos by Nelson, the Nelson rental place. A shout out to them because they take care of me. They're not a sponsor of the show. I wish they were, but anyways, they always take care of us. So we have a photo that I'll put on the screen right now.
Box truck. I'd never imagined in a million years you driving a box truck, but you did. You did it.
And I think, Dustin, we've been friends so long that I think we've seen each other do just about everything.
Just about, I think, yeah.
So we got a couple of items. I have a photo of that as well, of in the back, and a big table that if you're watching this on BTW 21, you have seen that big table that we've purchased and a couple of other things for the office, for my office. So it was a great find.
It was, minus it being pretty hot. I think it turned out pretty well. I know a lot of people always, and they're getting ready to prepare for the other one again coming up here in a few months.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to give some quick shout outs to all of those people that listened. I had a list, but of course I'm in a different location. But I know that we had a couple of folks that said that they watched the podcast or listened to it, and this was during the furniture sale when I was there at the furniture sale.
Wow. Awesome.
I had one person come there, and then, of course, the shout out to Miss Helen Howe. She said that she watched and listened, so she enjoyed that as well. So hopefully she's listening today.
Oh, she is, yeah.
And getting to catch up. She's caught up with both of us on separate occasions, and we all have to get together. She was very influential in both of our lives. So that's why we always catch up with her whenever we get a chance. So we see each other during the holidays, especially. And I've been actually having lunch with her on some Fridays.
Good.
Again, to catch up. And there's some things with Nesby going on locally. The banquet, I think she told you about that.
Yeah, it's coming up in May. They're getting ready for their big old 25 years in Martin Henry County. And they got their big old national trip coming up. I believe they're going to California, I think it is, or somewhere in the Midwest.
Was it Georgia? Wasn't it Georgia?
No, I think it was a fall conference. But anyway, so I believe they're going to California or Kansas City. But those are always a highlight. But it's a busy time for them for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, a shout out to all of those supporters. We really do appreciate it, and thank you for sticking along. Even after a 6-month break.
Yeah.
So
seems familiar, doesn't it? This happened last year about this time. I came back from a summer's mission trip, we call it, took a hiatus, did part 2. Is this part 3? I guess we'll call this a part 3 pickup.
And the thing is, with busy schedules, that is bound to happen. And we tried our best to try to do the podcasts more frequently, but our schedules doesn't allow it. Dustin, he'll give you a quick breakdown.
I'm ready for that, but yes.
Yeah. I really can't keep up with the schedule because it changes so much. But tell us, what is, I guess, your most frequent schedule right now?
So, as of late, since, I will say the last time I was on a regular schedule was the last week of November.
Okay.
That was the last time without having days off, without having to, work different days, fill in for people. As of this past week, I've had to do multiple morning shows on. So I'm normally off Mondays and Tuesdays. And I've had to come in on Mondays for the past 3 weeks now to do the morning show. And I'm getting up at 12:30, 1 a.m. in the morning, or midnight, or whatever you want to call it. Or as everybody keeps calling, are you going to work tonight? Yeah, I guess you could say that. Work from 1 a.m. to about 8:30 or so, and then do the morning show. But other than that, it's been doing that and then off a couple of days. But my normal set schedule is Wednesday through Sunday. Wednesday, Thursday, and Fridays, 9 to 6. On Wednesdays, myself and another meteorologist, we rotate doing the 12 o'clock, noon, 1 to 12 to 1, and then occasionally doing the 3 to 4 p.m. show. And Thursdays, Fridays, most of the time I'm doing the 12 to 1 noon show. And then Saturdays and Sundays, this is where it gets kind of funky because
I think it got funky at the beginning. He already lost me, but
but Saturday, Sunday. So basically, typically my chief meteorologist is really good about letting me go home early Fridays. Got to come back to the station at 4 o'clock in the morning, Saturday, Sunday mornings. So that has to basically, I'll come home from work, maybe eat a very light dinner, and then go straight to bed 7:30, 8:30, 9:30. I'm not going to go any later, but I've done that before. And then get up at 3:30 to get back into work the next morning. So work from 4 p.m. to noon. And so that on Sundays. And then typically on 12 o'clock on Sunday afternoons, I'm burnt out. I'm tired. I want to go home, go to sleep.
Right.
And that's what I normally do most of the time. And then, of course, there's been a few occasions where I try to go to church when I'm able to, obviously. Yeah. And then other than that, by Mondays, please don't disturb me. My kind of do not disturb me days because I want to detox. And then by the time Tuesday comes around, I'm like, all right, let's do it all over again for the week.
Yeah. Like I said, Dustin does have a crazy work schedule. So for me to even come down here and kind of hang out.
Surprise.
It does sometimes have to be a surprise because he changes so much on it. But even through all of that, he tells me that he enjoys it. So that's always good. So we'll talk a lot more about, and I'll get the timer back on, but we'll definitely talk more about the work, the new job that Dustin has. Mm-hmm. But before we do that, another quick update. And unfortunately, hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we talked about my sister lost her dog last year in July while she was in El Salvador and I was back here. And I tried to take her to the groomer for those maybe that didn't listen to that story. And she got away. And unfortunately, after not being able to find her, animal control got her. And she was in bad condition. So she was unfortunately had to have been put to sleep. So very sad there. Sister, still trying to get over it. The loss of a pet is like a family member almost.
Yeah.
And I know that those people that have pets would definitely agree. So that's that. So not the best update or the best outcome that we wanted, but that's just, as I always say, life.
There you go.
We have to just keep moving forward. So thank you everybody that did look for her and helped us. And I did talk about El Salvador. I did not go last year.
Right.
The plan was
the year before that you did get to go. Yeah.
22, yes. 23 I did not. But my mom, as I mentioned, she was there in July of 23.
Okay.
And she said if I go again, which is her, if she goes again, that she would like to do it in December, because when me and my sister went in December of 22, it is always hot there. Mm-hmm. But December is going to be cooler than in actual summer.
Oh, okay.
Just like, it's winter here.
Right. It's the opposite of the equator, right? It makes sense,
so,
right? Yeah.
Because I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy the temperatures when I went. But I don't know yet. I guess I won't talk about possibly going this year because I don't know yet.
Okay.
But I do want to.
Okay.
But I don't know. So.
All right.
That's kind of
plenty of time.
Yeah. Kind of in the question. And we'll just kind of figure that out. So those were kind of my updates. And then we'll talk about the quick life stories, some advice maybe that you can take. But Dustin, any vacations that you took in 2023?
Let's see. I did as soon as I graduated back in last May. Went down to the Myrtle Beach region, did a little vacation there, Ocean Lakes campground with the family. Stood a couple of days down there and came back with a nice sunburn. That was really exciting. But other than that, minus kind of during the little time I've had off work, I've been able to kind of come home. Very short visits. I do have one scheduled coming up coming weekend actually. So I'll be able to kind of come home for a little bit, check in with everybody, make sure that Martinsville is still standing because Mr. BTW is not there. No, I'm just joking. But we'll see where we go. It's now for this year, I haven't really thought that far out yet. I'm still trying to get a grip of what my actual real schedule is once all this filling in's been happening. But no, I enjoy it. Don't think I don't like what I do. I really do enjoy it. It's just all part of the process, as they say. Yeah. So I don't know.
I don't think that so far I have any actual plans for vacation, as I mentioned, because I would like to do the beach because my niece Marbella, shout out to her, she likes to go to the beach and she goes with us. Okay. So I don't know yet because it could either be that or El Salvador, but I do want to talk very quickly about the vacation. And first time I've done a staycation, and I did that in 2023.
They're good.
In December. That was the normal time or the time frame that I was supposed to go to El Salvador. But again, everything just didn't fall into place and was very busy during election and everything like that at work. But I did a staycation almost 2 weeks. Good. Almost 2 weeks. Good. And let me tell you, I enjoyed that very, very much. That was very fun. Yeah. The only thing was that I didn't want to go back to work.
I think it's like with everybody.
Yes, but normally when I go to the beach, I'm just so busy still, like, going out to eat, checking out tourist attractions, going to the water parks, doing this and that it's still like a normal Luis week, even though I'm not doing news work.
Yeah.
I'm still occupied. And so it was so much different to do a staycation because I wasn't doing anything. And then from going to doing nothing to going to back to the groove of things was difficult. But we're back. We're back into it. So, I'm looking forward to what this year has to bring, Dustin, because we're still talking about, this is in February now. And, obviously this one's not live because we're in Greenville. There was no way that I could get back and put it on at 10 a.m.
He actually is in 2 places.
So this one is pre-recorded this time.
Yeah.
But another thing that we want to talk about is, again, your work. You've told me a lot, and I've learned about some of the people, and I've actually met, since I'm here in Greenville, some of your co-workers. Yeah. So tell me, what has that kind of been like? What has, I guess, getting to meet all these people and get to know what they're like?
Yeah, it's different because it's like, it's not just you go Martinsville, you go down the road, someone's related to the next, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's here, it is everybody's from everywhere, just about, And my chief, he's originally from Arkansas, went to school in Mississippi, and this is his second year here, and some of the other meteorologists originally, went to from Panama City to here, and there's another one who lives in Wilmington, so he's not too far from home, and then we've got another one from Seattle, Washington. So, I mean, the whole weather team is so
all across
the U.S. And then most of our reporters and news people we get are mostly around the East Coast, Midwest regions normally. There's a few outsiders kind of from, Pacific West and things of that nature. But I've enjoyed it. One of our guys, there's a picture you kind of see there. About every week, we go walking, hiking, raking leaves, just something we're doing every week. And his fiance is like, so did you go with Dustin today? Well, I did.
Making some friends.
Yeah. So getting to know some of these people outside of their work life. And it's been it's a joy to get to see them just kind of, oh, wow. And I know one of my producers that I've been doing the morning show with, we went out to lunch just a few weeks ago. He says, it's weird not seeing you in a suit. I said, why is that?
Yeah.
Because, I guess I could see that.
Yeah.
Because they're producing and angling shots and everything. They're like, oh, you actually have regular clothes. I said, yeah, like right now I got jeans and a dress down button. I'm not going to be wearing a suit and tie every day. I mean, I could, but I don't think I would be very comfortable.
I get that from people a lot of times because, especially, because I wear contacts and before I wore my glasses, a lot of times people, I know that I saw someone, it was an event that wasn't, or it was an occasion where I wasn't planned to go there. So I had my glasses and my casual wear, and they were like, is that Luis? That doesn't look like him, because they were so used to, again, the suit and the tie every single time that I met them. But going back to talking about making friends at work, you're in a new environment. You're in a new city. So you have to, start a little bit from scratch.
In a way, it's kind of like going back to school again in a way, because it's like you meet new faces, new people. So when I first got down here, so that first week in August, it seemed like I thought it would never end because it was dragging on too much. But I knew, okay, I got to get starting to work, which we'll get that in a little bit. But when I got down here, I was like, all right, I've got to find something again. I got to get back to being a college student, even though I'm no longer a college student anymore. I reached out to the Eastern Carolina University, which is one of the biggest schools here in Eastern Carolina. It's like 30,000 students roughly about. And I just started Googling little campus events, organizations, and came across the Crusaders, or Cru, CRU, for CRU, which is one of the few ministries on campus, and got connected with one of the leaders there, who I see on a regular basis now. They have a little get together every Tuesday and Wednesday evenings, and I kind of get off work later the Wednesdays, go to them and hang out with those guys, and do a little thing of that tier. And it's been good doing that. And then a few of the guys that own some of the local restaurants around here too, I've got to know them pretty well on top of that. So it's not just I have my work employees and things like that. I actually do have people who are not in television, broadcast TV, minus you, but they actually are like engineering or biology or this, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. You actually are just
a variety.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, and it was like coming from college. I'm like, I'm still young. I got the college energy, even though I'm late. I'm not late. I feel like I'm going to these events and staying well past my bedtime, but it's like you got to live it if you don't.
Absolutely, and you're still young, and like you said, you still have that, I guess, that spark from being a student. So you still have that willingness to go out and meet people, willingness to get out and get into new environments. And I think that's new when you're moving into a new job, into a new city.
Yeah,
I haven't really had to experience that, but like once in my life. You know, when I came to this country.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
extremely major.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand the new environment, starting from scratch, making new friends and everything like that. But thankfully I haven't done it. And I guess if people haven't noticed through all of our conversations, I'm not a big person of change. I don't like it a lot. So I'm not that I like routine.
Yeah.
I just like things to kind of be the same and
have a consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like our weather here. We've been 50 degrees and sunny for the last 2 weeks. It's boring. But anywho, it's consistent. That's all that matters, I guess. But no, yeah. And then you just got to do it and go with it too. And like I said, for another example, one of our Radford alumni, I recently just landed him a job here at our TV station, and he's going to be my producer out of all full circle moment, believe it or not. And I'm he's just he just can't thank me enough for doing that. And he just graduated. I said, well, the least I can do is help out. And what do I know? A job opens up literally a week after that happened. I said, I'll go for it. And then
so you recommended that he sign up. I just want to make sure
I'm not
touching the wire. Because I'm like, we are recording it, but there would be a lot of
all that.
Exactly that. So we just don't want to hit it. And this one's on the table. That one's not. We should have fixed it, but again,
it's all good.
We're not going to do any cuts here. But
no,
I think that is great. That's to be commended. So I'm pretty sure that, like you said, he's very grateful that you were able to land him that spot.
Yeah, it just kind of blew me in shock. I was like, oh, I just saw you like a few months ago, and now you're going to be like one of my producers. I guess it's kind of funny to say that, but no, he's I'm going to meet with him sometime in the next week or two because he's still getting acclimated to the area, things of that nature. But yeah, so I guess if you want me to reference you, contact me. I don't know.
Right. Because you guys do have a lot of open positions right now.
We've got a few, if you're interested.
Well, we talked about sales, remember?
Yeah,
aren't there a lot of people?
Yeah, lots of sales. We need a bilingual person, so anybody that wants to work for a part of our Telemundo station, our partner station through NBC, come on down.
Yeah, we're going to have to send a quick bill to your workplace since we were doing Indeed hiring on the spot right here in the podcast.
Yeah, here at my beautiful apartment. Yeah. No.
So, Dustin, what else has been going on besides work, besides meeting new people here in Greenville? Because I know folks at home, I've had, believe it or not, I've had a lot. Well, not believe it or not, but you would be amazed at the amount of people that have been like, so have you talked to Dustin? What's Dustin up to? And of course, only great things to be shared. So I know that everyone is always very, very happy, very delighted to hear that everything's going well.
Yeah, everything's going well. Being down here for 6 months, it doesn't seem so real yet, but it does at the same time. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it does.
It does.
And, just taking that leap of faith, you've got to do it. And like I said, and I guess we can just go on to the next top of discussion is that, you had told me, you were like, I was applying to all these different jobs many, many months, weeks before I took this one. And I said, all right, well, I'm going to just do it. Just go for it, whether if I get it or not. And, I came down, got the interview process, got offered the same day I was here. And just then it was just like a light bulb went off. I'm like, all right, I've got to do this.
Yeah.
I can't stay. Not that I didn't want to stay there, but I've got to go and who is Dustin? Who is he besides the weather guy in Martinsville or the student at Radford University
that's a great way to put it. And to give a little bit of background again for those maybe that or listening for the first time, because when we do the podcast, we try not to have episodes that you have to watch the other one or listen to the other one for it to make sense. But we are still talking about real life. So Dustin and this is a little, I guess, a tease that I told you all. And sorry, it was 6 months in the making, but I told you, Dustin, and he actually said it on the podcast too. You were talking about the job in Harrisonburg. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, it didn't work out. No. We were honest about that. Maybe hopes were a little too high. But again, I was like, Dustin, I don't know if you should drive all the way 3 hours, 3 and 15,
roughly about,
depending on how you drive. I said, Dustin, I don't know if you want to. This was right after the Harrisonburg trip. I said, Dustin, I don't know if you want to continue to waste your time and go all the way 3 hours for an interview and nothing come out of it. And that's what I said. And not that I didn't want him to move or experience something. I thought that it wasn't going to amount to anything. But Dustin went with his gut.
I said, I'm doing it. I'm going to go for it. I did.
And,
and here I am.
He was determined to come out here. He did it, and now he's got the job. So what I was trying to say during that episode and trying to hint at was that, at the end of the day, you have to do, like Dustin said, what's best for you. What's best for Dustin. Not listen to, okay, Luis said do this. A family member said do that.
Right.
A friend said do that.
Right.
An acquaintance said do that. A coworker said do that. What do you believe is going to be the best? And we're not preaching here.
I feel like we are, but yeah.
Yeah, it does sound like it. But, that's just life. And, we as friends try to look out for the best. But at the end of the day, you got to help yourself. You got to do things for yourself. Because maybe you see something that someone else doesn't. Maybe you think a way that someone doesn't think. And if Dustin had listened to me and he had not come, he would still be looking for a job or would be somewhere else.
Somewhere else I may not have been like where I would have been. But, and like I said, I'm not too far from Virginia either. It makes everything a lot more easier. And I know everyone's like, when do you ever come back home? Are you ever getting any time off? And I'm like, can we wait till the summer and see where I am with my I have to accumulate paid time off so I can get those days off, including my regular, my weekend, Monday, Tuesdays are my weekends. But, we'll give a little time, it's your turn. Y'all come down here, visit me now. I've traveled enough. I think, no.
This guy has. He has. And like I said, a lot of people have asked me, how everything was going. Kind of tell us about actually living here and living in the apartment. What has that kind of been like?
Yeah.
Have you enjoyed it? I know that you've lived on your own because you've been in college, but now it's like this is grown up world.
Yeah.
So what is that
the
like?
big boy world, right? Yeah. It's not as. I'm very thankful. I knew what I was getting into. I've been able to kind of support myself a little bit, of course, with family.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah,
you're an adult now.
You've got to kind of do what you want to do. The first few weeks, I'm like, okay, I feel like I was in college again because I'm, okay, my parents not around. I can kind of do free will. But this is a whole different work. This is not college. This is not you're on a vacation spree.
Yeah.
This is you're actually having to get up early in the morning, get up, and
no one can wake you up.
Nope, you have to be on your own.
If you don't do it,
you're getting a phone call from
Dustin, we're going live in 5 minutes. Where are you at?
Yeah, I don't want to get the phone call from the news director or my chief meteorologist. But no, you got to do that, and you have to just practice, especially how weird my hours are anyway. But I've enjoyed it. It's good.
I don't know how you do it, seriously.
As
everyone always talks to me about, hey, Luis, when do you ever sleep? When do you do? No, this guy is what I ask. When does he ever sleep? Because to me, it's sometimes it's busy, sometimes it's not. I can get some sleep in this time. I can get some sleep in at that time, but nothing to that level. But
yeah, I was joking with him earlier when he came down, and I was like, I said, I'm shocked. I'm awake at this hour that we were doing this at the time. I'm like,
because normally this is nap time.
No, I'm getting close to it. Yeah, really. On the weekend it is, but but you have to. You got to push yourself. You got to fight your body. And I hate it, but you got to do it because if you don't, and I've done this many times, I'll just come home at 1:00. sleep to about 7 o'clock. I need to go right back to bed again. So I've done it a few times, but I'm learning to fight myself with it, I guess. But I mean, overall living here, it's been good. I've enjoyed it. Really haven't had any like major big issues. I mean, when I first moved in, I had to get the washing machine was a loose hose. I had to get maintenance to come here and fix it. And other than that,
but the machine was provided.
The machine with everything was provided here for me. Paid a little extra for the amenities, but I was like, all right, if it's not going to add as much.
Yeah, but then the other thing is 3 hours. The 3 hour difference was, are you going to rent a U-Haul big enough for you to bring a washer or dryer or buy one here and then having to, like you said, maintain it, get all the furniture, which pat on the back for me. I've brought some of that furniture.
Thank you.
Here.
Yes, this
and
fine
then
table
also
here.
to, of course, those individuals, including if you want to give her name out, that gave some of the furniture. But, everybody has pitched in also.
They have. Most of them. I was able to bring my own bed, which was very nice of that. And the couch I had to go on a local yard sale to pick it up, so it worked out that way. So the furniture here, I've been doing my online and meeting people around here and things of that nature. So I was able to do that. And of course, my grandmother, she came down and brought some extra furniture here to help with make it look a little more live-like, I guess.
Yes,
so.
that's the word. Make it feel a little warm.
Yeah,
feel it. Yeah. Make it feel at home. I have a house too, so I've had to kind of learn that too, because when I went, I wanted to kind of, because not in a bad way, but because I come from a big family and a Hispanic family. We tend, not all of them, but I like to keep on to things. So the home was always full and busy. So then I went into this new generation of, I want to be minimalistic or something of that nature.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I just want that there. But then I saw, okay, this just feels empty. It feels like stuff is missing.
You're missing, right?
And it's because I'm used to that warm home feeling. Meaning, there's a little more furniture, things our mix match. The good old days, I guess, is the type of interior design instead of the new way that when you go to the store, it's like literally, nice furniture, one little table, gray walls, and one little painting on the wall that doesn't even have any meaning to you.
Right. Yeah. You got to just get yourself. I mean, even people have mailed me things, and I've got a couple of door hangers here or there. I've been mailed through there, and of course, you got to hang the famous diploma you got from college, right? So other than that, I mean, you got the little few perks here and there and things of that. But I mean, it's been good. I've enjoyed it. Neighborhood's been great. I've had no issues with anybody. No drama. I have to stay out of that. I'm Mr. I got to get my sleep. But
do you hear a lot of the dogs barking?
Once in a while you'll hear it. Yeah, there's a few neighbors around here that have a few dogs. But
few, because you told me this one.
In this particular unit I'm currently living in, yes, there's quite a few of them. But there's a lot around this complex. But even the people that that owners, or not the owners, but like the individuals in the leasing office are like, oh, it's Dustin. He's the weatherman. So, I've got that little...
I have to ask, because you're, 5 minutes, and is it on the same road?
Yes.
Is the TV station on the same road?
Yes.
Okay. So 5 minutes, same road. How do you like that? Because everything else, when you lived in Martinsville, when you lived in Dry Fork, and then when you lived near, Dyer Store area,
something area
County,
there,
around that area. You always had at least a 15-minute, 10-minute drive,
right? So and no stoplights either. It was just straight on roads there.
So how do you like that?
I mean, you're
never late to work.
I'm on time most of the days. I mean, I get there maybe 4 or 5 minutes late, but it's not because I can't control traffic. But I love it, especially getting up at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
There's no traffic.
No one's in. I got green light straight away. No one's in the road except for this. For those of you who don't know, this is a big medical health area. So there's always a lot of night nurses traveling or people going to the hospital. So typically, or maybe that's just that someone is driving around, college student, or maybe people are just driving to get home. I don't know where they're doing, but if you're just go home, right? But in all seriousness, seriousness, though, it's, I guess, because of that workflow. I won't say I'm compared to a nurse's schedule, but we kind of run into the similar schedule almost because we're working graveyard, first shift kind of thing. So most of the time, it's kind of maybe like 1 or 2 cars when I go into work on the weekend mornings.
That's not bad. I've always been close to everything because I've lived in the same south side area of the city. So it's always been close to work, close to school. So I definitely know that. And it's kind of embarrassing to say, and my coworkers at BTW know that every there's a staff meeting every Monday, Dustin, and I'm always 5 minutes late. And guess what? Everybody else is 30 minutes away from work. And they're there all the time. So a little embarrassing. But it is what it is. It happens.
Yeah.
I have to ask because I know you may be itching to talk about it. And I know that, this is what makes us. How do you like the weather here compared to Martinsville area? Or how do you not like it?
The fact that we haven't received any snowfall is
really upsetting.
That
to
is
you,
depressing. That's sad to me because y'all have had a few snow events, and it's always been like,
I can't believe I'm saying.
I know, for the first time in a while.
Right.
Even in Radford, they've just been inundated with snow up there in the mountains.
Oh yeah.
And the furthest snow I think in North Carolina has been like maybe towards Greensboro, probably closest here.
Yeah.
It's been like cold.
And that's what that's 2 hours from here.
That's about 2 hours to that. And minus the lack of snow, you're like between 2 and 2.5 hours from the Outer Banks, which is so nice. I love that part. You're right close to the beaches area. The summer when I was here at the end of August, the beginning of August, we hit 100 a couple of times. It got to 100 degrees a couple of times here. Yeah, and you're out there in the humidity, and it just, and then for those, we have an outdoor patio, so I'm outside in a full blown suit doing the weather in the humidity on a summer morning. I'm not too crazy about that. Now, when these winter mornings we've had, I'm loving it right there.
Yeah.
I got my...
I saw you done some experiments.
I have. I've done a little bit of everything. We've got our weather coats on with our logos on. I'm like, all right, I'm nice and warm. I got my suit on, all this. So it's fine doing it out there in the cold. I'm just not too crazy about it when it's extremely sticky and humid. But we still got plenty of winter. I'm just... remaining very optimistic. I'm going to say we'll see at least a coating of snow before a trace by the middle of March. And I'm going to leave it as that.
Well, I know that people that know us very well know that Dustin's a big snow lover. I've changed, and I told you this. I've changed my thoughts on snow because at first I'm from the equator, from El Salvador. I was like,
it's always
snow,
warm there.
Yeah. I love the warm. And I was like, snow.
No.
But now I've changed. I like it because I like to be able to have the job be easy. I like to drive in it. I really do. I like driving in it, being careful with it. Because when anything you do, you have to be careful. And then just because there's been snow, at least once, I've got to experience and get more experience on actually learning how to drive in it.
Good.
But I do like it. Again, it makes my job easier, believe it or not, for me. So that's why. But that's pretty much it. Yeah. I guess if I wasn't working there, I wouldn't.
Yeah. I will say that I've experienced a tropical storm, a close encounter of a hurricane covering this now. I was actually on air for I just started tornado warning immediately as soon as I come on the air, covering a tornado warning. Thankfully, there was no touchdowns. I don't believe at that time. We've had quite a few close calls here lately with tornadoes. It's been very weird.
All in less than 6 months.
All in less than 6 months, especially in the beginning of January. It was so active. Of course, our corporate gray station, we have a thing we call First Alert Weather Days, and in advance of any weather, if it's snow, cold, freezing rain, or severe weather, we have to issue those First Alert Weather Days, and it was going to a period of time where everything was on the weekend. And this guy here didn't never get off work because I have to pull a 12-hour shift, waiting for the next guy to come in to relieve me so I can go home and come back to work.
So do you like that? Do you like having all this change in the weather, or?
In a way I do, because if it was just, if we had like...
Well, you have to have something else because you don't have snow.
You don't, yeah. We get hurricanes and the tropical storms and the tornadoes. I will say, though, that we're so close to the coast here, the flooding threat's not a high end of an issue because people are prepared for any flooding event. I've noticed that. Sandbags, take precaution, clear out the gutters, clear out the manholes across the road.
Right.
And people stay home. They listen.
Good.
This is not like where I've seen other places where they're out there just full riding through a storm. Like
that's what I will say. I know we're talking a lot about weather, and I guess we'll get. Well, we've talked a little bit about our jobs. I mean, that's just who we are. That's our jobs too. But I will say that when I was driving up to Patrick County, in January for the winter road coverage, driving in the snow, I did see. I was there for about 2 hours because I drove all the way to Meadows of Den, so that's about an hour from Martinsville. It was, I kid you not, I'm not even exaggerating, no more than 10 cars on the road. So that told you that people understood, stay home. If I don't have to go nowhere,
right,
I'm not going to. And most of those vehicles were VDOT trucks.
There you go.
So, again, it's always good for people to understand if you don't have to be out in something, any type of weather. Because
really,
one of the jokes, and I hate to say it, but it is true, that people joke about whenever it rains in Martinsville, Henry County, is you're guaranteed a wreck, a crash. And it's true. It happens. So, again, that's a little bit of what happens in our worlds, what happens in our jobs, and folks, as always, we just want to. I know that we're not done yet.
No,
we're not done yet. We are going to go through that hour. I know that you are like, oh my goodness, what else more could they have? But again, it's been 6 months in the making. I think you guys deserve a 1 hour update. But we just cannot stress enough how much we appreciate you guys always supporting us, whether it's watching our podcast, whether it's sending us gifts, whether it's just saying hello. I know you've had some conversation with people just all of a blue call. It happens.
Yeah.
So thank you.
And speaking of record, you talk about people coming up to you. I get a kick out of this. People.
You have said that.
This has been. I kid you not. It's
remember, folks, 6 months.
Twice a week, I get stopped by somebody. And I will. And I
wait a minute, is that the weatherman?
Is that the weatherman, the newsboy? Is that who I think it is? And they turn around and I've
seen you on TV.
I've got that. Yeah, I've got that quite a bit. And I know a few weeks ago I went out to eat with a friend of mine from one of the at ECU, and we were just joking. He said, "How often do you get stopped?" I said, "About twice a week." And I kid you not, 5 minutes later, someone comes in and sits
with that friend while you were with
that friend. Well, I'm talking to, and we're about to get ready to leave and everything. And he's like, and I see the guy at the cash register. He's eyeing me, and I'm eyeing him. Okay, just whatever. He comes sit next to the table next to us, and he's like, "You're Dustin Staples, is it?" I said, "Yeah." He said, I just enjoy watching you." And he was with his daughter. I said, "That's the weatherman. We watch him every weekend morning at this time." Wow. He says, "I enjoy watching you on the local channel." He says, "It's weird seeing you in the afternoons. How does that feel?" I said, "I bet that feels weird because I work weekend mornings. I don't think I specified. I do mostly morning shows when I do a weekend." And so in the afternoon, he just kept looking at. I'm kind of dressed how I am, not in a suit and tie. Okay. I had a little casual.
You have to make sure.
Yeah.
Because that's always awkward. You're like, I think I know who that is.
It is.
But I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
And then they do something or you hear them.
Yeah, or I'll say something. I'll start saying, and I think I was talking. He looked, he says,
that's him.
"I know you. You're Dustin Staples." He says, "It's weird." He says, "Is it weird for you to be out in the afternoons?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's a little weird and sometimes." But I mean, it is funny to get stopped by people, and even people at Eastern Carolina University. I want to give the local newspaper there, just as I just started, did a story on climate, and they were talking about the wildfires we had that smoke last summer, and they said, "Would anybody be interested in doing a story?" And I said, "I'll take upon myself to do it." And within that next issue, they put the whole article and everything in there.
You sent them?
And I sent them and everything. And so it was cool to get connected. And they're like, "If we have any more weather inquiries from you, we're going to reach back just to you and you only." So, I got back to that, and I even have some first school visits coming up. I'm looking forward to talking to the school kids here.
I know you've always enjoyed that.
Yeah, we've done it once, but it's been a long time since we've done it.
I've done it multiple times for BTW, but together we've done it once. And
so
it's always good to be able to share a passion, just like we're doing today, just to kind of talk about everything that we do. And Dustin really loves connections. He loves to get out and talk to people. So he's always good. So in case you have somebody, you have an organization, you have maybe a business that you want Dustin to talk to, I'll be included. But I'm saying in Dustin, just because he works at a bigger market too, just reach out to him. He always loves to get out and talk to people. But I will say that, yes, I enjoy that too. I really do enjoy people coming up to me and talking to me. The thing that's a little different with ours is, and this is funny because when we first started, if you remember, and I think I've said this on the podcast, I always wanted to be like recognized for me, not just my voice. But the number one thing is, I'll be at a drive-through, I'll be at a business, and I'll start talking, and then I'll be like, "You're that guy from BTW, aren't you?"
That voice, yeah.
Because they say I recognize the voice anywhere. Because most of the time that people interact with me or hear me is the breaking news, but we do it differently than a big network does, where I'm behind the camera because I'm a one-man show. Yeah. So I'm always like, this is Luis Romero live at the scene, breaking news. So they only hear me. Right. They don't see me.
That's all they know you by.
So, but I occasionally do have, and I don't think mine is once a week. I think I will say mine is maybe once every 2 weeks that I will get recognized.
Gotcha.
But mine is, I watch you occasionally, I watch you on BTW all the time. Or every day. That's what they will.
And I will say, I get a lot of viewer emails. A lot of people emails galore every week.
And I think we've all stumbled across those on social media where people get them crazy ones. Have you gotten any crazy ones? I think that's a great talking point.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I've got anything crazy.
We're not gonna put anybody on blast.
I don't think I've got anything. I mean,
no one said, "Hey, why were you wearing that pink tie? I hate it."
No, I haven't got nothing. It's all been like, You're not from around here. Where are you from? And then I'll kind of have a little conversation. I'm like, I'm from Virginia. Oh, I have so and so in Virginia, or I lived an hour from wherever you are.
Because you don't, when you do the weather every day, you don't get to say, "Hey, I'm Dustin Staples from Martinsville." You just go,
"Hello," and and I have almost slipped up one.
On the lower third from Martinsville.
Yeah, that's all I got. I'll tell.
Number one question.
I'll tell my
frequently asked question.
My producer. No, but it's always my openings like, "Hello, everybody. I'm forecaster Dustin Staples. This is your latest WITN First Alert weather forecast." Just go right into it.
And he said, believe it or not, that one day he almost slipped out. BTW 21.
Yeah, I did, and it was just recently, which I don't know why that was. I wasn't watching you. I tried to check in with the newscast once.
Yeah, he does still keep updated with everybody,
but
folks.
it's just like,
why? I've told you, you can't get rid of Martinsville.
It's in me forever it will be. But no, it almost slipped up recently. I'm like, what? And I had to think about what I was going to say next. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute now. Let's do a mental let's do a restart there. But no, I mean, other than that, it's been, it's good to say WITN. You guys, it just comes off the tip of your tongue. It's like BTW 21 does too. So
it's. I mean, that's awesome, and it's always good that Dustin keeps updated with the areas over there, because I've given him a shout out before, even on the newscast, and sometimes discreetly, because we can't we just can't. Right. But he always still keeps updated with the things that are going on over there. Do you guys still do closings here?
We still do them. If it's flooding, a lot of flooding, tornadoes, and even if it's very foggy, because we're so close to the coast. Okay. And that was a first one I've never experienced schools being delayed or closed because of fog. But come to think of it now, I've never. It's closer to like the northeastern part of like Pasquotank, Camden, Perquimans County. That's right on the border of like where Norfolk is in Virginia. So that's kind of like a outlining area towards the northern part of the Outer Banks. But I was like, that's I've never been known to schools delayed.
It's crazy because every single area, I know, Facebook now pushes your content out to a lot more people.
It does.
It doesn't just do it to your friends or your recommended. it does it to everybody. So sometimes our stuff goes viral, not just with our local area, and they'll be like, I can't believe you guys are having school of this. And then when I was driving in Patrick County, someone said, you guys don't know snow. Because how much snow did they get?
I think it was like an inch, 2 inches, something like that. It's a couple of inches.
So a couple of inches. So we over there make a big deal out of it, and those folks were like,
I can only imagine what it's like here, because I've heard so many horror stories, and just like they said it looks like an apocalypse, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Apocalypse.
Thank you.
Right?
Apocalypse zone with cars.
Okay.
I was talking to our chief photographer. He was like, it's been many years ago. He's coming back from another out of state exclusive they were working on. He came back to North Carolina. He says, I came back many years ago. He says there was probably about 30 cars in the ditches because people couldn't drive. Because it was like 2 inches, it was like 3 inches of snow on the ground. And I was like, really? He said, you'd be surprised. I said, well, I don't know what it's like around here when it snows. And I'm thankful I don't live in the middle of like a deserted area.
You could still get to work.
I could still get to work, which is good because it's a main road.
Front-wheel drive on your car.
Yeah.
I think you could make it.
Yeah, I think I could.
You would have to be careful, but I think you could make it.
So, but anyway, I've heard all the horror stories about, they're like, oh, you don't want to see when it snows around here. I'm like, I'm gonna put that to the test.
Right.
I know what that's like. Yeah. I mean, anyway.
Do you guys see another thing with BTW, and I guess we're comparing the two things here, the two news stations. One of the things that we're best known in, and people just love them. I guess it is what it is. I mean, that's just, people love to see crashes, wrecks, accident reports. I don't see any here.
It's very rare because most of these are like busy interstates that are running through these big cities. So in order to have an accident and you shut down I-95 or I-587, we have done something wrong, kind of thing. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but we don't cover. It's very rare we cover car accidents, and I know our recent one we just recently got in Morehead City, which is a big area for a structure fire. It was an abandoned store. I think not abandoned. It was a storage unit, and we're still investigating how the fire started, but that was kind of like our number one story for a couple of days.
Yeah,
it was
like I said, it's not
a little different.
Very different. So I think that would be, for at least for me on that aspect, it would be a bit of a challenge. But folks, we're almost to the end. We're not there yet. We are both in TV, so we know how to talk about anything, and we can talk about anything for a very long time.
It's good not having somebody in my ear telling me to rap, because that's something I'm used to. I'm still 30 minutes, 2 minutes,
true.
15.
I forgot about that.
Rap. My
stretch. I love the stretch.
I've got a couple. Yep. I've got or it's like, Dustin, can you go another 5 more minutes? And I'm nodding my head while I'm talking. So I'm like, 5
minutes of weather?
Well, they were just, I'm just
oh, okay. I was like,
or like, can you do another extra 30 seconds? I'm typically nodding my head or whatever. But there's been a couple of times I've had to stretch because either we've had, I know one of our recent coworkers just recently got off maternity leave. I think she's back. So we had to, in the middle of that, there was some things going on.
Live
TV. And he's my director, and my news director's like, hey, Dustin, you need to go a little longer. I'm like, all right, folks, here's Tuesday, here's Wednesday, here's Thursday, here's Friday. Are you ready for Saturday?
And while we have you here, after we talk about the weather, let's do a bedtime story.
Yeah, good night, folks. And he's like, okay, you could wrap it whenever. I'm like, and that's your forecast. We're back after, you have to get that little breather
adjust
mode.
To it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things that you learn, but it builds you as a person. It builds you as an employee, as a weather forecaster.
It does, very much so.
Anything else, Dustin, in regards to plans that you have moving forward here?
I can't think of any right now.
Do you know right now how long you'll be here? You don't.
As of now, I've got a 2-year contract under my name, so I'm getting close to getting to the year point almost.
Yep.
Whether or not if I stay. Everybody does not want me to leave, so whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. But we'll just see where I am a couple of years from now. But let's get through the first full year of me being here, because August 1st we'll be making a full year since I've been here. So we're getting close to that we're already past the 6 months threshold now. Now that we're getting close to being almost a full North Carolinian. Weird saying that, but Virginian.
Virginian. Yeah, Virginian is it's a little more common. Well, no, it's not. It's just No, Virginian is came first. Virginia was a
colony, part of the 1607. Yeah, I don't know when North Carolina came about, but
they're first in flight.
That's right. That's all
on the license plates. I see that. It's always weird to come here and see for people, because we were talking about this when we were back on the way to the apartment. You don't see any Virginia license plates here, but I mean, in I guess it's different. But you don't see a lot.
I mean, I do work with one of my other producers. You can tell I work with a lot of producers here, but one of the directors, I think, they're good people, by the way. It's not that I don't like to do them. Yeah. He's actually from outside of Harrisonburg, up that way, Charlottesville. And that's totally different direction. Charlottesville's here, Harrisonburg's here. Charlottesville, that's where he's from. So he's the only other Virginia person I've met so far at work.
Yeah, but I guess it's different in Martinsville because we're literally 15 minutes away from the border there. But folks,
we did it
now. Yeah, can you believe that? Yes, I can, because
6 months we'll do another 2 hours special, and we'll see where we are by that. Yeah. No, it's been good doing this. It's a little hard now, but you know what?
Yeah, it is.
So it's just part of it. You got to roll the punches.
The reason why we don't do it is, again, we're busy. I mean, that's just honest truth. And again, we've told you that we're not going to say that we're busy when we're really not. The other thing is, we could do this through Zoom, but we still want to give you a quality product. We don't just want to spill something out. So that's why, for us to do something, it's going to take us a little bit. But folks, that's enough of me stretching. We thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us, and I guess we'll see you next time, whenever that is.
That's right. Thanks so much, folks. We'll check in with you a little bit later, and enjoy your day.